The burning of the Carthaginian camps in 203 BCE was one of the most brilliant and devastating military actions carried out by Scipio Africanus during the final stages of the Second Punic War. It took place in North Africa and is remembered for its tactical brilliance and the devastating blow it dealt to Carthaginian military capabilities. This nighttime assault decimated the Carthaginian and allied Numidian armies, confused their leadership, and effectively ended Carthage's resistance on its soil. The operation served as a prelude to the Battle of the Great Plains, laying the groundwork for Rome's eventual victory at Zama in 202 BCE. To fully understand the magnitude and consequences of this action, it is necessary to place it within the larger context of the Second Punic War by 203 BCE. The war began in 218 BCE when the famous Carthaginian general Hannibal crossed the Alps and launched a campaign in Italy. Despite tremendous victories at Trebia, Lake Trasimene, and Cannae, Hannibal could not force Rome to surrender. Over time, the Roman strategy shifted toward attrition and containment, avoiding pitched battles and focusing on Carthaginian power outside Italy. By the time Scipio Africanus emerged as a general, Roman strategy had evolved significantly. Instead of passively containing Hannibal, Rome began attacking Carthaginian resources, first by wiping out their strongholds in Iberia. Scipio's spectacular victories at New Carthage in 209 BCE, Baecula in 208 BCE, and Ilipa in 206 BCE not only drove Carthage out of Spain, but also severely limited its ability to recruit and supply troops for Hannibal's campaigns. After consolidating control in Iberia, Scipio sought to end the war by attacking Carthage directly. With Senate approval, he crossed into North Africa in 204 BCE, leading an army of volunteers and veterans. His goal was straightforward: force Carthage to recall Hannibal from Italy, and then bring the war to an end on African soil. When Scipio arrived, he immediately began forming alliances and establishing a base of operations near Utica. His partnership with Massinissa, a Numidian prince and rival of Syphax, the western Numidian king, was critical to his strategy. Syphax had aligned himself with Carthage by marrying Sophonisba, the daughter of Carthaginian general Hasdrubal Gisco. Syphax and Hasdrubal commanded most of the Carthaginian and Numidian forces in Africa, which numbered between 80,000 and 100,000 soldiers and included significant cavalry and war elephants. Scipio's army was smaller, with around 30,000 men, including Roman legions and Numidian cavalry under Massinissa. With such a numerical disadvantage, Scipio realized he couldn't defeat the combined Carthaginian-Numidian force in a confrontation. Instead, he used deception, reconnaissance, and bold maneuvering to gain an advantage. Following several skirmishes and a failed peace negotiation, Scipio continued to move near the enemy encampments. Hasdrubal and Syphax had established separate camps near the town of Utica. Hasdrubal's camp was larger, more heavily fortified, and located on one side of the Bagradas River, now the Megerda River. In contrast, Syphax's was slightly separated but close enough to support each other. Both commanders were confident in their numbers and believed Scipio was prepared to withdraw or wait for reinforcements. Scipio was planning one of the most daring and strategic attacks in Roman military history. He had spent weeks researching the enemy camps, interrogating prisoners, and using scouts to examine the layout, troop routines, and vulnerabilities of both. According to Polybius and Livy, he devised a plan to launch a surprise night attack that would not only defeat the Carthaginian Numidian army in battle, but also destroy it through fire and confusion. The plan was carried out with meticulous care. Scipio divided his forces into two main groups. One group, led by himself and Laelius, his trusted cavalry commander, attacked Hasdrubal's camp. The other, led by Massinissa, attacked Syphax's camp. Coordination between Roman and Numidian forces was critical for success. Timing and surprise were essential, as darkness and the psychological impact of a sudden inferno were used as weapons alongside swords and javelins. The attack occurred at night, under cover of darkness, and when the enemy was least prepared. Scipio waited for a favorable wind so that the flames would be carried deep into the enemy lines when fires were lit in the camps, causing maximum chaos. The assault began stealthily. Roman and Numidian infiltrators slipped into the Carthaginian camp's outer perimeter, where watchfires were low and guards were inattentive. Once inside, they started setting fire to the tents, stores, and stables. Almost simultaneously, Massinisa's forces did the same in Syphax's camp. The result was instant panic. The camps, which were densely packed with wooden structures, animals, munitions, and cloth tents, provided ideal kindling for fires. Flames spread quickly, and dense smoke blinded the defenders. Soldiers, awoken in the dark by fire and shouting, rushed out in confusion. Their comrades crushed many, some were burned alive, and others ran straight into the waiting blades of Roman soldiers and Numidian cavalry. Scipio's troops, well-rested and coordinated, struck with surgical accuracy, and they advanced in columns through the burning camp, killing disoriented Carthaginians who attempted to flee. Those who tried to regroup or form a defense were quickly apprehended and killed. Enraged by the fire and noise, elephants ran amok, trampling friend and foe. Horses broke free, contributing to the chaos. Hasdrubal and Syphax narrowly escaped with their lives. The majority of their army had been destroyed, and up to 40,000 men died that night, either due to fire, trampling, or Roman blades. Thousands more were imprisoned or wounded. The Carthaginian-Numidian alliance had been effectively destroyed in one night. The victory was enormously significant. The immediate strategic consequence was that Rome had unrivaled military superiority in North Africa. The remaining Carthaginian forces were dispersed, disorganized, and demoralized. Carthage, now exposed and vulnerable, was thrust into crisis mode. Second, the psychological impact was devastating. The burning of the camps not only caused widespread casualties, but also shattered the illusion of Carthaginian invincibility. Until that point, Hasdrubal and Syphax believed they had an advantage. Their humiliating and catastrophic defeat shattered confidence among their remaining troops and allies. It also reduced Carthage's bargaining power with local tribes and foreign powers. Third, Scipio's reputation soared. He was already well known for his campaigns in Iberia, but he quickly gained a reputation as a general with unparalleled cunning and boldness. His ability to instill fear in enemy ranks and dismantle numerically superior foes without a pitched battle was unparalleled. The Senate and even his political opponents in Rome could no longer deny his efficacy. Fourth, Carthage's alliance with Syphax was shattered. Massinisa's involvement in the operation was more than just supportive. It elevated him to a position of power in Numidia. Following the battle, he relentlessly pursued Syphax, eventually apprehending him and presenting him as a prisoner to Scipio. This capture effectively handed over control of the Numidian tribes to Massinissa, who became a devoted Roman ally and later played a pivotal role in the Battle of Zama. Following the destruction of the camps, Scipio did not sit idle. He marched quickly inland, capturing enemy strongholds and towns left undefended. Many of these surrendered without a fight, thereby increasing Roman influence. Within weeks, Carthage filed for peace. Though negotiations initially appeared promising, the Carthaginian leadership quickly recalled Hannibal from Italy in a last-ditch effort to save the war with one final battle. The burning of the Carthaginian camps in 203 BCE was more than just a battle. It was a work of operational warfare. It demonstrated how surprise, intelligence gathering, environmental awareness, and psychological warfare could be used to win without using traditional combat methods. With this single maneuver, Scipio Africanus destroyed the largest Carthaginian army still on the field, broke a crucial political alliance, and altered the balance of power in North Africa. The event paved the way for the Battle of Zama, where Scipio faced Hannibal directly, and brought the Second Punic War to a dramatic end.